What's up, everybody? Anthony here with Empire Music, empiremusic.com. So back at you with another brand new Fender bass, Player 2 series. So I've done videos on the, let me turn that volume down there. I've done videos on the new P bass, done videos on the J bass. J's short for jazz, if you didn't know that. And today we got the Mustang PJ bass. So we're combining those two because you see the precision bass pickup, you see the jazz bass pickup here. It probably looks familiar to you because the Player 2 series is a nice extension of the Players series. The Players series took the place of the Standard series, which was the Mexican series instrument. Really nice, just workhorse, no frills, no BS instruments, whether we're talking about guitar or bass, you know, Strat, Tele, whatever, into the precision, the jazz, and into the Mustang. And then it's a short scale instrument, so that means, if you don't know, 30 inches from bridge up to the nut. The standard precision bass, standard jazz bass is 34 inches, so we're shortening everything by 4 inches. That's good for a lot of players. That's also really good for sound. Short scale basses, I feel like, are one of the more cyclical styles of basses. It seems like every 6 months, everybody wants to play a short scale instrument, and then no one wants to play a short scale instrument. There are some things I love about short scale instruments. There's certain things I dislike about short scale instruments, so I'll talk a little bit through that, but I think overall, they're really, really nice to have in the collection because they're easy to play, and that can get into a whole other subsect of players there. But sonically, they really bring something different to the table versus their long scale counterparts. And we're not even talking about like 35 scale active bass, you know, that whole sound. This is such a this is 180 degrees opposite of what you would see out of, let's say, a Sadowski or a modulus bass or something like that, you know. Spec-wise, not a lot's changed, and I know there's a lot of critics, and Fender's an easy brand to kind of pick on because they're the biggest brand out there, right? But they get a lot right, and I think they got a lot right with this whole line. And I'm not just saying this because we're a Fender dealer, even though we are. 412-343-5299 is the phone number at the shop. We are here to sell you an instrument. So make no mistake about that. But I always try to be pretty honest in my reviews of the Fender lineup. Again, they do a lot good. They sometimes do some bad stuff. I like to talk about all that stuff. So The Player Series was a very successful line because, like I said earlier, it's a workhorse of an instrument. It's such a no-frills instrument to have in your arsenal at home, or maybe as your only instrument, right? And price point wise, they're well under $1,000. These come in, I think at the time of filming this, $799. Player Series had some price fluctuation dealing with like the into COVID, out of COVID price stuff. Let's not even get into that. But like at $800 across the board, you get a lot of instrument out of it, right? Spec wise, alder body, Player Series pickups. So they haven't changed the pickups in there, and that's a good thing because there's nothing wrong with those pickups. They sounded really, really nice. Volume, tone, and then three-way switch. So we're gonna transition between wide open, meaning both pickups, just P pickup, just J pickup. Very, very versatile tones out of that. Almost more versatile than what you get, I think, more versatile than what you get out of a jazz bass. Obviously more versatile than you get out of a P bass. But in typical fashion, it doesn't necessarily do the P bass thing exactly. But you get really close to it with this. I think this might be controversial. That's okay. I think you get closer to the P bass tone, even in short scale, with just the front pickup of this. Obviously, because it's a P bass pickup. But for those that are searching for the versatility of a jazz bass but want to get the full P bass tone, you can get a lot of that with this. Obviously, the short scale thing does impart some flavor onto it. But I think it's better than the front pickup of a jazz bass. That's a tone I never really fell in love with. And then neck-wise, so maple neck, we're back to rosewood, right? So we were doing Pal Faro there for a minute with Fender. I always say nothing wrong with Pal Faro. It's not the darkest looking fretboard, and it's not as warm as rosewood, but it offers a lot. There's a complexity and there is a tonal thing that's very nice with a Pal Faro fretboard on it. But we're back to rosewood, so that's nice. We're pairing. We're giving you an option, or Fender's giving you an option from maple to go to a much warmer wood into rosewood on the attack. You hear that on the attack and the way that the note kind of sings out and where like the sweep of the note is. 1.5 inches at the nut, so jazz bass spacing here at the top. So combine 1.5 inches with the 30-inch scale length, you got a really comfortable instrument. And then modern C neck shape on it, right? And rolled edges on the fretboard. That's really like a big, I think the big differences here are going back to the rosewood board and getting into the rolled edges. I believe this finish on the neck is a little different too. This is a really good feeling. I'm getting used to feeling it now on these Player 2 series. It's a really nice satin urethane finish on it. Feels very nice. Feels a little bit high end on that too. The rolled fretboard edges are nice because we were seeing with the Player series, especially later on. And again, I always try to be pretty honest with it. There was some production issues with that stuff at some point, and we were seeing some pretty sharp fretboard edges. Not sharp fret edges. That's curable. That's more of a humidity thing. But we were actually getting like sharp edges on the fretboard. These are very, very comfortable to it. So it gives it a nice. And I'll go back. It's a little bit of a high-end touch on it, although still a mid-price instrument. I think anyone that plays this or feels you're gonna know it's a mid-price instrument. Out of the box, setup on this, I did nothing at all. I just tuned it, and it's playing great. Like this is like setup-wise right where I would want it. I would gig on this. This is like totally at home to me. Sonically, let's start wide open. What I was playing there, I had at the beginning, which feels like a year ago because I'm so long-winded. I apologize for that. I like basses though. And I like Fender basses. They're cool. When I was playing at the beginning, I had toned back just a little bit, but I was wide open playing with a pick. I love this sound on a short scale instrument. This is one of the, I think the sweet spots for short scale is the palm muting with a pick. Not my most effective technique by any means, but I like the sound of it a lot. So wide open on that. when I was playing at the intro there, just wrote a little tone off. I love this sound. My favorite sound on an instrument like this, just really is. But let's go fingerstyle, full volume, full tone, middle position. Now this isn't my favorite sound on these basses, right? It might be yours, and I think that it sits in a mix way better than, I think it sits in a mix better than it sounds soloed, if that makes sense. There's a lot of content going on with it. So I think it fills up a lot of space sonically, but I don't love it on its own. But check it out. So wide open. We're going to flip between the neck pickup, P pickup, and the bridge pickup and middle position. So middle position right now. Right, that's middle. P pickup. And I think that fills up more space than what just a front J pickup gives you. In fact, I know it does. And then just the J pickup in the bridge. And that's just playing with fingers, right? So now we add a whole other layer of versatility here with pick. That's kind of open picking. Now with the palm mute. And move up to the P pickup, open picking. And back to the J pickup. That thins out, sorry, I have like some flaws in there playing, but I was thinking as I'm playing that is so thin sounding, and I do not mean that in a bad way, that it's kind of cool into like lead instrument territory. But if you're looking almost like a tenor bass or like a baritone guitar. It's so punchy. Now palm muting. That's such a cool tone. I don't have any pedals here because really these demos, when I focus on new product, try to really just show it in that environment. You pop some chorus on that, light chorus, super, super slow rate. And like for like the intro of a tune to have that, like, it's almost like out of phase sounding because it thins out so much. That's super cool. Intro, outro, bridge section of a tune where you want bass to drop out, but you still want some harmonic line going on in there, could be super, super cool. That's something I'm gonna experiment with at some point in my free time. I won't bore you with that one. So let's roll some tone back, go back to fingerstyle, and go through those positions again. P pickup. jazz pickup. Back to middle. Oh, my fingers just don't feel warm today. I think they never feel warm, right? Let's call a spade there. So remarkably versatile instrument here, as you would expect with this pickup configuration in it. I always find with a P and a J, it takes a little bit to find your sort of voice on it. Oh, I almost forgot too. One of my favorite tones on this is rolling that, going with that middle position and rolling tone all the way off. This is very cool. Again, I go back to being in a mix, but with a pick. We start slowly bringing tone in, and you can really play with that. That's sweet spot right there for me. About 30% on, 25, 30% on. I always forget about that tone when I'm playing one of these. Very, very cool there. Again, on its own, maybe not the greatest thing ever, but in a mix, surprisingly full, and again, it just really, really a nice supportive tone. Really like that. So, like, who's it for? You're a guitar player looking to add a really cool bass into the studio setup, right? You can do a ton of tones with it, because keep in mind, you can always go back and get this, like, it's almost bass 6 kind of vibe to it. We go back to that bridge pickup, roll some tone off. It gets, you put some vibrato and some reverb on that, that's like bass 6 city all day long. Very cool. Beginner player. You want something just a little bit smaller, not quite as daunting physically, cutting that 4 inches off. Keep in mind, that's also narrowing the space between the frets as well. So a great instrument to learn on. You want something not quite high end. You want to jump above the Squire line. Player 2 series is there for you all day. This one's in Hialeah yellow. I love the finish on that. There's some really cool finishes in the Player 2 series. I don't know if they're all available in the Mustang bass. And we're really here focusing on sounds, kind of showing you some of the specs. Nice to return to rosewood. Nice to get the rolled edges on it. It's nice that they didn't change too much. They just made those nice kind of high-end feel upgrades to it. Again, Hialeah yellow. The coral red's really cool. I love that coral red finish. And the new blue, it's escaping. I think it's aquamarine blue, is super hip too. And then birch green is another nice finish. It's nice to just add some kind of vintage sort of flavors, colors into the lineup. So Player 2 series Mustang bass, PJ. If you have any questions at all, you need anything, the website's empiremusic.com. You can contact me directly at anthony@empiremusic.com. You can also call the shop, 412-343-5299. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.